Two, one, pills. Savage on your right, left, and JRigsx on your right. JRigsx getting a fairly interesting board to start off here. Not a lot of access to yellow. In fact, with that just about gone is his access to yellow. Savage with a little more diverse board that she's had to start with and makes some really nice plays so far there, Sarge.
Yeah, JRigsx started with only 6 yellow in total on the board, which is a very small amount. He's gone through half of them already. He's going to have to be using all that yellow very strategically to help him take other stuff off if he gets any. But right now, the doctor is being actually surprisingly kind and making whatever yellow he's getting very minimal. Meanwhile, Savage Shotgun, who's a far more balanced board virus-wise, is managing to clear out all of them very quickly. Got about a tie game, but she's just barely keeping the lead here as she gets near the bottom of her board, which she has nothing on row one, which means there's always going to be at least a little bit of drop time unless she's able to maneuver the pills around as you see her doing here, taking beautiful no drop clears time and time again here.
Yeah, and it is worth noting that Savage does have about a 5 second timer advantage on JRigsx as she's out at about a 1:11. And we do go by their timers and not what you see on screen. So keep that in mind as we move forward. But JRigsx just going to need a couple more blues, gets those yellow blues, really nice timing for that. And the yellow out at a 1:30, which is still a great pace. Right about the time you want to be on if you're shooting for around the 6 minute mark. But Savage with the early lead here.
And some great combos you're seeing right off the bat, dropping pills down, taking out 2 or 3 viruses with each set of combos that she's doing there. And here's another drop, wiping out everything in column one, which now gives her a little dump area. She ends up getting a pill she doesn't want, which is probably going to happen considering she's down to her final, make that final one red pill. Now she's got out of red altogether, still 14 viruses left. And of course, the docs decided, hey, how would you like a red rush right about now while she's working this? Meanwhile, over on J-Rig's side, get about 4 viruses behind, very heavy on blue. Is gonna need a fair amount of help there to get through this level there, John.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because JRigsx had that lack of yellow in his first board, and now Savage, as you said, completely out of reds. And it's really interesting to see how that's just kind of gone back and forth. Both players doing really well here, though, in their in games. This double blue going to be perfect for Savage. Just needs to open up this red virus. And she does have the opportunity to potentially go horizontally. Either way, she's going to have to clear out some reds. So it looks like probably vertically will be the answer. JRigsx just needing one more red. He's going to be out at a 257, but Savage out at a 252. So still maintaining a 5 second lead here as we go into our penultimate level in this first game.
And 5 seconds in this is absolutely nothing. And both these boards are pretty decent. At least at first, J-Riggs had a fair amount of red at the top. He's making certain to keep a fair amount of color diversity so he can play not just every color, but every combination of pills to make certain that he's not wasting anything. Savage Octagon, meanwhile, is working on getting rid of a couple of the tall spires that she's had in a couple of columns. In fact, she just knocked down one. She just got that one pill that's hanging a little high in column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But not going to be a big issue for her. And all in all, this is going to be a very close match. I'm thinking all the way to the end, John.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I'm really liking Savage's board right now. She's had all kinds of double opportunities. Couple double yellows would be splendid for her right now. While Jay Riggs's board is mostly kind of pushed off to the right. Oh, and I think he may have miscounted how many blues were there. That blue red would have been more beneficial with the red to the right in column 8. So he's gonna have to clean that up. Gonna give Savage Octagon a chance to really pull ahead here as she already has a 10 virus lead over Riggs at the moment. But Riggs does get that cleaned up. And good play putting that double red over to the right because he saw that he had the red yellow next. I was able to drill that down. But as it stands, Savage just needing one more yellow. Come on, game. There it is, out at a 432.
Yeah, and thankfully, J-Riggs is playing on mediums. How he was able to get rid of that virus that he had way up at the top due to that. I mean, the set of pills he had way at the top there. Just needs a fair amount of blue help here to get through here. In fact, it's all he needs at this particular point. If he can get, oh, I thought he had four. Apparently, I cannot count reds either. So we don't be blaming Jerix for not being able to count to four either. Meanwhile, on Savage Octagon's side, got a hole in the middle of her board, dear Liza. But is for the most part, is every color easily available to access either vertically or horizontally, and it's got about a 17 virus lead right now.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting for Savage here, but that yellow blue placement was really nice on her part. JRigsx again has got that kind of board that has a lot of stuff over on the right, and his right side is really high, and this left side is already pretty low, Sarge. But he's doing a great job to bring this down. But with 8 viruses and ahead of 16, 17 now, ahead of Riggs for Savage Octagon. It's looking pretty good for here, barring anything catastrophic misdrop wise or RNG wise. It looks like Savage has this match pretty well in hand.
Yeah, sometimes you just get those matches where things just don't work out, but that's the reason why we do best of threes here, not best of ones, just in case you end up having a match like that. Just after this, J-Riggs just have to give me a deep breath and ready for next one. As Savage Octagon is out at a 6-12, J-Riggs is already past that, so first match does in fact go to Savage Octagon.
J Riggs already seeing that he has lost the match and goes ahead and does a quick soft reset back onto the menu level, and GG's to both our players. Savage does take game one. J Riggs already ready to get into the next game here.
Yep. Right now, just waiting for Savage Octagon to say that they're ready. Looking at the particular things here, Savage Octagon has gone pretty far in this tournament. In fact, she's since September she's gone 6-1 in round one, and in fact, in her history has actually come up runner up twice in this. Most recently in January 2023. That was a little while back, which to me tells me that she's due for get into the semifinals at least. Because some of her skill really should be there a little bit more. Often just having a little bit of bad luck getting those. We have a 3-2-1 pills getting started here. Looking at these boards, John, a severe lack of yellow really for JRigs this time around, kind of mirroring, excuse me, the luck that happened last match.
Yeah, it's really kind of interesting and really not what you want to see if you're Riggs, especially since we know that yellow statistically is the color that you're going to see the most in these boards. But he's doing a really great job with what he's been given. Looking over at Savage's board, she's got one red remaining, and it's kind of towered there. Oh, and I don't think she wanted to do that at all. Don't know if it was a accounting error or she just meant to flip that the other way. Not sure what happened there, but she's going to have to make some work to get out of that. Now, she can potentially clear out the blues underneath. That will drop the reds down and suffer a bit of drop time from that. So we'll just have to see how she decides to go about that, Sarge.
Yeah, the count to four issue being a problem for all of us today. Thankfully, none of us are accountants, so we don't really have to worry about that too much. But I won't bet that yeah, she's going to build up underneath, to take these blues out, which will allow her to build up underneath. So maybe she should take this one horizontally, it looks like, in order to get this out. And she will be out at a 129. Meanwhile, J Riggs is out at a 136, but still a very close game.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're Savage Octagon now, the best thing you can do is just shake off that level, keep playing your game, as she is kind of hurting for yellow access here at the top of this board. She does have access to a little bit, and this double yellow, really perfect for her. She was able to drop that down and get a nice horizontal. Looking at Riggs's board, kind of left heavy, but he's gonna do some work with this board, I think, and he's gonna be able to get through this no problem with the right pills.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's with these level states. Seems like all of them are severely lacking in yellow for both our participants today. It's making for a very difficult planning because, as you said, yellow is so common that when you get multiple boards that have a lack of it, you have to really start thinking outside the box and how you're going to use them all. And That's what Savage Octagon in particular is having to do because she needs so much blue, and the doc is giving her, well, up until now, it's giving pretty much everything except for blue, and it's given Riggs a chance to get right back in this. In fact, we pretty much have a time match right now. In fact, might be seeing J Riggs take his first lead right here.
Yeah, Riggs just needing this final yellow and this double red, gonna do it. 256 for him. Savage Octagon just needing 3 blues. Riggs has taken a little bit of a lead as Savage is waiting for those blues. Finally gets them out of the 303. I'm sure she's not happy with that. But again, just shake it off, keep playing.
Yeah, and looking at the top of the board that JRigsx has there, he's given himself some opportunity for blue because there was pretty much nothing at the top of his board. And yet again, for Savage Octagon, very little in the way of yellow at the top. In fact, let's see, only 7 yellow viruses left on the board. Again, it's not a case of just really a two-color board for both our competitors here, and that's really making things be that you're not exactly seeing par or better times this particular run, which in a way makes things more interesting because it's not so much who can get just through it all quickly as possible, it's who can do the most strategizing with the pieces in order to get to the levels.
Yeah, and speaking of strategizing, that's what Riggs is having to do here because his top line is entirely red and he's just not getting any whatsoever. And it's given Savage a chance to get back into this. In fact, again, keeping in mind the time difference, but she does look to have a tiny lead here over Riggs. Come on, game, give him some reds. That's gonna help. That red that's coming up, there it is, gonna help a little bit. But she really just needs to keep getting more reds. The game just not cooperating, and Savage Octagon has indeed pulled ahead here, just a tiny bit. But now she's needing reds as well.
Yeah, and right now the biggest issue that JRigsx is going to have is he's got several viruses up in column 3 that are fairly high. That double red will help out quite a bit. Maybe he'll get a double blue as well to take those out with minimal drop time. In fact, there is a double blue right there. You're welcome, JRigsx. And right here we got JRigsx done at a 459. Meanwhile, Savage Outguns at a 457. We got a 2 second difference going into the final level here, John.
Yeah, this is exciting stuff. Exactly what we want to see. Savage manning to actually take a managing rather to take on a tiny lead over Riggs. She was about, I believe, 8 seconds or so behind coming out of level 7, so she has made a comeback here. And it's all due to that lack of red that J Riggs was having. Now you see Riggs setting up for this huge blue horizontal. He gets it, and it's gonna leave him with a tiny bit of garbage there on his column 6. But that's not going to be too bad for him to clean up. Any double blues or blue reds or even blue yellows will help him to clean that up pretty quick.
Yeah, meanwhile, looks like Savage Octagon's got a mostly right-heavy board right now. Just got a couple that'll be taken out very quickly in columns 3 and 4. But right now, got an 8 virus lead, getting all the pills she pretty much needs to take anything out here, which is not good news for JRigsx, who is starting to fall a little bit behind, about 8 viruses behind, which doesn't sound like much, but right now everything is lined up pretty much perfectly for Savage Octagon, besides that red that's in column 5. And she's going to take out right there, which allow her to take the blues out horizontally. She just needs this red here and then the blue, and she will be out at a 626, which means Savage Octagon will be moving on to the second round. GG's to both the competitors here, especially Jerry's, who has some very difficult RNG, had outstanding matches, all things considered.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well played by both our players. But it is, again, Savage Octagon out with that 626. Shout outs to Stitch. She moves on to round 2 to play me, actually. And that'll be in just a little bit. Riggs going to go ahead and finish this out, it looks like. And as he finishes out, gets that red yellow drill down 708 for J Riggs.